Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Okay. So in the last session, we were discussed about the circular motion of an object. It's not a new topic. We know that if the object moves along a circular path, such a motion of an object is known as circular motion. So if the object is moves along this circular path, we know that the speed remains constant, but the velocity of the moving object continuously changes. So there will be a rate of change of velocity is occurs if the object moves along a circular path. Okay. And the rate of change of velocity is known as what? The rate of change of velocity is known as
Displacement.
rate of change of velocity is known as displacement, right? Rate of acceleration. Very good. Rate of change of velocity is known as acceleration. Okay. So we can say that if the object is moves along a circular path, it accelerates. Okay. The object is said to be accelerate. And the acceleration possessed by the object which moves along a circular path is known as termed by one name. What's that? Acceleration possessed by the object whenever it moves along a circular path is known as
Centripetal acceleration.
centripetal acceleration. Very good. It is centripetal acceleration. And what is the direction of centripetal acceleration? It is directed towards the center of the circular path. Okay. So if the object is moves along a circular path, it possesses an acceleration. That acceleration is known as centripetal acceleration. And the centripetal acceleration is always directed towards the center of the circular path. Okay. So here in this chapter, we are not concentrate on centripetal acceleration. We are concentrated on another physical quantity, that is what is known as centripetal force. Okay. So centripetal acceleration is directed towards the center of the circular path. Then the force which is responsible for this centripetal acceleration is known as centripetal force. Okay. So whenever the object is moves along a circular path, its velocity continuously changes. As a result, we can say object is accelerate. That acceleration is termed as centripetal acceleration. Centripetal acceleration always directed towards the center of the circular path, and the force responsible for this centripetal acceleration is known as centripetal force. Okay, so all of you write the next subheading, centripetal force. Centripetal force. You can write definition in your own words. It is the force which is responsible for the centripetal acceleration of an object, or we can say it is the force which is present when one object moves along a circumference of a circle. Okay. When an object moves along a circumference of a circle, all of you write the definition for centripetal force. When an object moves along a circumference of a circle, when an object moves along the circumference of the circle, okay, when an object moves along the circumference of a circle, it will experience a force. This force is known as centripetal force. So if any object moves along the circumference of a circle or circular path, it must experience a force. That force is known as the centripetal force. Is it clear what you mean by centripetal force? The force which is responsible for the centripetal acceleration of an object is known as centripetal force. Or if the object moves along a circular path, it will experience a force. That force is known as centripetal force. Is it clear?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay. Then what is the equation for calculating this centripetal force? Equation. What is the general expression for calculating the force? General expression for calculating force. F is equal to, by Newton's law, F is equal to, unmute and say, F is equal to ma. F is equal to the product of mass into acceleration, right? F is equal to ma. This is the general equation for calculating any kind of force. The product of mass and acceleration possessed by the object is known as force. But here we consider the centripetal force. We can denote it by using the subscript Fc, suffix Fc. So Fc is equal to mass of the object into centripetal acceleration. Can you recall the expression for calculating the centripetal acceleration? Centripetal acceleration is given by A is equal to, did you remember the equation for calculating the centripetal acceleration? If the object moves along a circular path, it experiences or it possesses an acceleration. That acceleration is known as centripetal acceleration. And in the previous chapter, we derive an equation for calculating the centripetal acceleration. We have two equations are there. What are they? A is equal to v square by r, or A is equal to r omega square. We have two equations are there for calculating the centripetal acceleration. That is A is equal to v square by r, or A is equal to r omega square. So here we can choose the first equation for the centripetal acceleration. So here A is equal to v square by r, because here A is nothing, it is centripetal acceleration. Object is moves along a circular path. So our equation become m into v square by r. So this is the equation for calculating the centripetal force. Centripetal force Fc is equal to mv square divided by r. Or you can write the centripetal force Fc is equal to m into A is also can be calculated by using the equation r omega square. So m into r omega square, mr omega square. Centripetal force Fc is equal to mr omega square. So these are the two equations for calculating the centripetal force. Fc is equal to mv square by r, or we can say Fc is equal to mr omega square. Is it clear? What do you mean by centripetal force and the equation for calculating the centripetal force?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then Mary Angelina, define centripetal force.
Ma'am, when an object moves along the circumference of a circle, it will experience as a force.
Yes.
Force is known as centripetal force.
This force is known as centripetal force. Okay, then Lakshmi, equation for calculating the centripetal force.
Fc is equal to mv square by r.
Okay, Fc is equal to mv square by r. Pooja, another equation for calculating the centripetal force.
Fc is equal to mr omega square.
Very good. Fc is equal to mr omega square. Where this r omega square and v square by r are the equations for calculating the centripetal acceleration. Centripetal force is the product of mass and centripetal acceleration. All right, children. So, relating to this topic, circular motion, here in this chapter, we need to discuss two topics. That is, motion of a car on a level road and motion of a car along a circular banked road. So, that is what is we are going to discuss next. So, all of you write the next heading, motion of a car on a level road. Motion of a car on a level road. Okay. Motion of a car on a level road. Motion of a car on a level road. That is what is we are going to discuss here. So for that, we are consider a circular path. Okay, a circular path, and the car is moves along a level road. It's a leveled road in this circular path. So we can consider a car here. Okay. So our car travel along a level road. That is what is we are going to discuss. So first of all, we can discuss what are the forces acting on this car. What are the forces acting on this car? Now, sometimes you maybe have a small idea what are the forces that maybe act on this object. Correlate with the topics that we are discussed in the previous session. Try to guess what are the forces that can be act on this car. Try to guess. No force is acting on the car.
Frictional force.
Okay, anyway, it's a frictional force will be there. Okay, right? A frictional force, then only frictional force. Yes.
Centripetal force.
Okay, centripetal force will be there. Okay, then frictional force, centripetal force, only these two forces. Then in the previous session also we were discussing if an object is kept on a horizontal surface, it will be experienced by the two type of forces. And if and only if these two forces are equal, then only we can say that object is remains in a state of rest on that horizontal surface. So can you guess the two more forces which is acting on this object or this car? No idea. Which means you didn't get any idea about the previous session. That is why you are remaining silent.
Action and reaction force.
Very good. It is the action and reaction force. Okay. The action force is present due to how the action force is present here. It is because of the weight of the object. Okay. The weight of the object experiences downwards. Due to the weight of the object, it exerts a force and which is acting vertically downwards. Okay. So that is one force which is acting on the car. Due to its weight, it exerts a force which is vertically downwards. Okay. At the same time, there will be a reaction force, and the direction of the reaction force is always normal to the surface of the object. That is what is we were discussing in the previous section. Okay. So there will be an action and reaction force will be there. If and only if these action and reaction force is balanced, we can say that the object is remains in a state of rest. So here we consider a car on a level road. It experiences two type of forces. One is the force due to the weight experienced by the car, that is mg. It is exerted vertically downwards. And the other is the reaction force, which is acting normal to the surface of the object. Okay, which is normal to the surface of the object. And here we can say that this car is also experience a frictional force. The car is also experience a frictional force. It experience a frictional force. And this frictional force provides necessary centripetal force, because here the car is placed on a circular path. So it also experiences a centripetal force, and this centripetal force is directed towards the center of the circular path. We know that if you imagine this is a circle, the car experiences a centripetal force which is directed towards the center of the circle. Okay. So here we have four different types of force which is acting on this car that is placed on a level road. So one is the downward force, the vertically downward force. It is exerted by the weight of the car. The second one is the reaction force, which is acting normal to the surface of the car. So we represented it by N, letter N. It is the reaction force, which is normal to the surface. So it is represented by the letter N. Then another is, since the car is placed on a circular path, it experiences a centripetal force. We know that if the object moves along a circular path, it always experiences a force. That force is known as centripetal force. And this centripetal force is also directed towards the center of the circular path. And here another force is experienced on the car is the frictional force, which opposes the relative motion of the car. So these are the four forces which is acting on this car. So now we can check the balanced case. Okay, here because here we get four different forces, how these four different forces are balanced to each other. So that is what is we are going to discuss. And from this figure, it is clear that the reaction force is balanced by whom? The reaction force N is balanced by whom? Already given here in this figure. The reaction force, that is the normal force N, balanced by which type of force? Try to guess. If it is wrong, no problem.
Frictional force.
N is balanced by frictional force. Balancing condition, kept in mind, balancing condition means every action there is an equal and opposite reaction, equal and opposite. Then only we can say it is balanced to each other. So N is balanced by
Action force.
N is balanced by action force. And what is the action force here?
Mg.
Mg. That is the force due to the weight of the object. You just look here. Here we have a normal force. And just opposite to this normal force, we have another equal force that is acting downwards, vertically downwards. This is the normal force and this is the action force. This is the reaction force. This is the action force. Action and reaction is always equal and opposite. So here we can say the reaction force N is balanced by the action force that is due to the weight of the object and it is acting vertically downwards. So N is equal to minus Mg. Okay. Now the next case. Here the centripetal force is provided by whom? The necessary centripetal force is provided by whom? Because of the presence of this frictional force, the car always have a tendency to move, and this is towards the center of the circular path. Okay, and the centripetal force is provided by frictional force. We cannot say the centripetal force is exactly balanced by frictional force. Here we can say, or we can use the term, here the necessary centripetal force is provided by the frictional force of the car. Okay, here the necessary centripetal force is provided by frictional force of the car. So here frictional force F is equal to centripetal force Fc. Okay, frictional force F is equal to Fc. And we know that the centripetal force is just opposite to the direction of the frictional force. So we can give a negative sign here. So once again, I will explain this. Here we consider a car on a level road. Then we discuss about the type of forces acting on this car. So the first one is the downward, the vertically downward force. It is mainly due to the weight of the car. The weight of the car Mg experiences a force and that force is exerted vertically downwards. At the same time, it also experiences a reaction force that is acting vertically upward direction, and this reaction force is represented by the letter N. Along with this action and reaction force, here we have a frictional force. Frictional force is acting in the opposite direction to that of the centripetal force. Here the car moves along a circular path. It experiences a centripetal force. That centripetal force is directed towards the center of the circle, and this centripetal force is provided by the frictional force, but it is in the opposite direction. Then we discuss about the balanced case. What are the different cases of balancing the different types of forces? From the figure, it is clear that the action force is balanced by the action force is mg. The action force mg is balanced by the reaction force n. So we can write n is equal to minus of mg. Okay, because the reaction force and action force exactly equal and opposite direction. So here we put a negative sign. N is equal to minus mg. Now in the second case, the centripetal force, the necessary centripetal force is provided by the frictional force. They are also lying exactly equal and opposite. So we can say F is equal to minus Fc. Okay. And what is this Fc? Are you familiar with this term? Fc is the centripetal force. Okay. And now we know the equation to calculate the centripetal force. What is Fc? How we can calculate centripetal force? There is an equation. What is an equation? What's the equation for calculating the centripetal force?
mr square.
mr square omega, or we can say it is mv square divided by r. Because here we consider a level rod, so it's better to take the velocity component. So Fc is equal to mv square by r. But we know that the centripetal force Fc is equal to mv square by r. So our equation becomes friction F is equal to minus, instead of Fc, we can write this mv square divided by r. Okay, so give this as our equation number 1. That is the first balanced case. Action force is balanced by the reaction force. So N is equal to minus mg. Now the second case, the second balanced condition, frictional force is provide the necessary centripetal force. F is equal to minus Fc. But we know the equation for calculating this Fc. Fc is equal to mv square by r. Okay, so we put the value of Fc into this equation here. So the equation becomes F is equal to minus mv square by r. Frictional force is balanced by the centripetal force minus mv square by r. This is our equation number 2. Okay, now the next step, divide equation 2 by equation 1. Equation 2 divided by equation 1. Okay, so according to our first equation, we have F is equal to minus mv square by r. It becomes the frictional force. This F is nothing, it is our frictional force. F is equal to minus mv square divided by r. And the next LHS, here we have N, equation 1. So equation 2 divided by equation 1. So N equal to, what about the right hand side of the equation? Right hand side of the equation is minus mg. Minus mg. Okay. That is F by N is equal to minus mv square divided by minus mv square r divided by r mg. This is the basic mathematics. We can write the mg along with this r. Okay, so this minus and this minus cancel. Here 1m and 1m cancels. Then what is left? We can write F by N is equal to v square divided by rg. Okay, divide equation 2 by equation 1. Then we get F by N is equal to minus mv square by r by mg, minus mg. So using the basic mathematics, we can write F by N is equal to minus mv square divided by minus r into mg. Cancel the common term. So here negative and negative cancels. Mass of the two bodies, mass from denominator and numerator cancel. So we get F by N is equal to v square by rg. Actually, here we are consider the velocity that is needed by the vehicle in order to move on a level road. So here F is the frictional force, N is the normal force acting on the car, V square is the velocity, R is the radius of the circular path, and here what about the G? From where this G coming? Comes from where this G is coming here?
Action force.
Action force. It is from the action force. Okay, that is action force is acting vertically downward. So here we are consider the acceleration due to gravity. So by rearranging the equation, we get V square is equal to, or before that, are you familiar with this ratio F by N? What is this F by N represents? Frictional force divided by normal force. From the laws of kinetic friction and static friction. Here we are not consider it as the kinetic friction or static friction. We consider it as a general case. According to the laws of friction, we know that the frictional force is always directly proportional to the reaction force. F is proportional to N. In order to replace this proportionality sign, here we introduce a constant, that is F is equal to, what is that proportionality constant? Forgot. Mu, the proportionality constant mu n, right? This is from the laws of friction. From laws of friction, it can be either static friction or kinetic friction. We are not mentioned the specific type. Consider it as a general case. We know that the frictional force is directly proportional to that of the normal force. That is F is equal to mu n. In order to replace the proportionality sign, here we introduce a constant of proportionality. That is what is known as mu, coefficient of friction. If it is static, coefficient of static friction. If it is kinetic, coefficient of kinetic friction. So F is equal to mu n, or we can write F by n is equal to mu. Okay. So from this equation, we know that the ratio of frictional force to that of the normal force or the reaction force is nothing. It is the constant of proportionality mu. So here in this equation, F by N is changed by whom? It's changed by mu. So our above equation becomes, the previous equation we know that F by N is equal to V square by Rg. Okay. But by the laws of friction, we know that F by N is equal to the coefficient of friction mu. Therefore, our equation becomes mu is equal to V square by Rg. Instead of this F by N, we can replace it by this coefficient of friction mu. So our equation becomes mu is equal to V square divided by Rg. Okay, so here our aim is to find out the velocity for the safe driving of the vehicle. So here mu is equal to V square by Rg, which implies V square is equal to rearrange the equation. Yes, unmute and say. Yes, Devi Krishna. I think Adulya says something, but I can hear Adulya. Is there any problem regarding with your audio? Okay, then Devi Krishna. V square is equal to
Mu RG.
mu Rg. V square is equal to mu Rg. Or we can say V is equal to root of mu Rg. Okay, so this is the final equation that we are only need in order to calculate the velocity. So this is the velocity of a moving car on a level road. Okay, so this is the velocity of moving car on a level road. And this velocity is needed for the safe driving of vehicle on level road. This is the velocity of moving car on a level road. V is equal to root of mu Rg, where mu is the coefficient of friction, R is the radius of that circular path. G is the acceleration due to gravity. And here this velocity is needed for the safe driving of the car. If we are applying a velocity greater than that of this velocity or this value, what happens? There will be a chance of skidding. Okay, so in order to avoid this skidding, we must use a velocity or use a value of velocity of this equation. B is equal to root of mu rg. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So this is the equation for calculating the velocity of motion of a car on a level road. So similarly, we have one more topic, motion of a car on a banked road. Okay. So our next topic, motion of a car on a banked road. Okay. Write the next head. Motion of a car on a banked road. So before discussing this topic, what do you mean by banking of road? Banking of road. Motion of a car on a banked road. Banking of road. Okay. So first of all of you write the definition of banking of road. After that, we can discuss what about the velocity of the car when it is moved on a banked road. So in the previous case, our car moves along a level road. Now we are going to discuss what happens if the car moves along a banked road. Okay, so for that, we are first of all, you just write the definition for banking of road. Banking of road means this is a process of, it is the process of raising of a outer edge. It is the process of raising the outer edge of the road. Raising the outer edge of the road. Over its inner edge. Over its inner edge. Through a certain angle. Through a certain angle. In order to provide the necessary centripetal force. In order to provide the necessary centripetal force. In order to provide the necessary centripetal force to the vehicles. To the vehicles. So that they take a safe turn. So that they take a safe turn. Don't be worried about this huge definition. You just go through this definition and make it in your own words. Okay. What do you mean by banking of road? It is the process of raising the outer edge of the road over its inner edge. For what? In order to provide a necessary centripetal force. Necessary centripetal force to whom? To the vehicles, so that they can take a safe turn. We know that whenever we are moving along a circular path, we have the sometimes we need to take a safe, we need to turn, we need to take the turn. So during that time, in order to make a safe turn, this is the process that we are already taken here on the road, that is banking of road. The raising of outer edge of the road as compared to that of the inner edge. And this is mainly occurs, or it is possible through a certain angle, So in order to provide a necessary centripetal force, thereby avoiding the safe skidding, and thereby providing, or that they can take a safe turn. This is what is known as banking of road. Is it over? Did you write the definition for banking of road?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 1 minute. I will show a video regarding with this banking of, starting with Anjana. What do you mean by banking of road? Anjana? Anjana Sunil? Tara, what do you mean by banking of road?
Ma'am, it is a process of rising outer
Hmm.
edge of a road
Hmm.
over the inner edge
Hmm.
through
Through
a
certain
certain
angle. Okay. For what? For what we are doing this process?
to for a safe turn.
For a safe turn. Before that, in order to provide a necessary centripetal force. Okay. And thereby for the safe turn of the vehicles without skidding. So this is what is the purpose of banking of road. So under this topic, the motion of a car on a banked road, we have to discuss the two subtopics. That is the motion of a car on a circular banked road without friction, and the motion of car along a circular banked road with a friction. So we need to discuss these two cases. What about the velocity of the car if it is moving along a circular banked road, if there is the friction is present and if the friction is absent? That is what is we are going to discuss next. So all of you, just we can just start the topic. I know we have no time to complete it. Anyway, we can just start it. Write the first heading. Motion of the subtopics under this topic. Motion of car on a banked road. The first one, motion of a car on a circular banked road. Motion of a car on a circular banked road. The friction is absent. If the friction is absent. Motion of a car on a circular banked road if the friction is absent. So for that, here we consider a circular road, and we know that the outer edge of the circular road is raised over its inner edge through certain angle theta. Okay. Here we consider a circular road, but it is not simply a circular road, it's a circular banked road. That is, the outer edge of the road is raised over the inner edge through certain angle theta in order to provide necessary centripetal force to the vehicle. And here we place the car here. Okay, so now we can say the car is such a position. It is placed in an inclined surface. In the initial case, in the previous case, that is if the motion of an object on a level road, it's exactly just like a planar surface or a plane surface. But here, instead of that, we consider the motion of a car on a banked road. So something just like that of an inclined surface. Okay, so the similar procedure that we are adopting here. What are the forces which is acting on this car? They are the first two forces anyway. What are the two forces which act on this car?
Reaction and action force.
Very good. It is the reaction and action force. So first one is the action force. It is due to the weight of the car. And other is the reaction force, which is normal to the surface of the car. So one is the mg. Mg is nothing. It is the force experienced due to the weight of the car. It is directed vertically downwards. And other is the reaction force, which is acting normal to the surface of the car. And that is represented by the letter N, that is directing vertically upwards. Okay. Then what are the other forces which is acting here? Before that, what do you think? Does the reaction force and that of this action force are exactly equal? They're exactly equal. Because here our car is placed on something like that in inclined surface. What do you think? Does they are equal and opposite? Okay, anyway, we can wind up the class till here. We can discuss it in the next class. No problem.